the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100. Now today we had a monster move, right? We look quickly at the Nasdaq, boom, shakalaka, big breakout, and we're still going here into the after hours. Yes, we look at what's happening here. Clear shot, breaking above significant levels, above our previous highs we were watching from last August, right? You go back to the daily, you can see last August, there you are, you're breaking above, and you look pretty good into 4,400, okay? But I want you to slam on the brakes for a second before you get too excited. We have some very big news happening tomorrow morning. CPI, the following day, PPI, and the minutes, which will be announced about the new rate hike or pause or whatever is going to happen. So there's a lot riding over the next 48 hours that you need to be paying attention to. Now, when we go over this, it's important to realize the cause for this movement today. Very early on, we have the consumer inflation expectations, which typically aren't that significant because they're typically pretty flat. They don't ever really beat, miss, or anything along those lines. It's very consistent with overall expectations, right? But today was different. These were the lowest 2-year expectation, the lowest expectations on inflation in over 2 years. The market loved what it was seeing. Going into a Fed meeting, it might have been a little bit of a hint at what was to come regarding pausing, future cuts, etc. Now, I have an opinion based on this and where I see us going. But before we get into that, I have to ask you to consider doing 2 things. Liking the video because it helps us out. And if you get anything out of it, consider it. And then subscribing for anyone that's new. Every single day, Monday through Friday, we have you prepared. If you watched yesterday's video, I told you my opinion on the move today. I told you which stocks I was liking, how I saw us moving, the great setups, opportunity, right? I don't like to go over and say what I was right about, what I was wrong about. I like to let you decide for yourself every single day. Also, too, if you're looking to get around like-minded individuals that are trading in this market, that are educating along the way, then Discord may be for you. It's not a get-rich-quick signal service. We go over how we trade, what we're trading, and everything in between. Just look at this is every single day, right? I just show what's going on there. Someone's paper trading, showing how he's doing there. AVGO, we caught that move today as well. Good job, Finster. Got some big runners going as well. Amazon, Microsoft, big plays. SPX, all these guys just killing. This is just at 2 p.m. in a power hour. All day long, you can see. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. And if you're ready to take that next step, I think Discord could be for you. Now, I do want to say as well, the only shill we do here is for interactive brokers. If you're using Webull, Robinhood, I'm going to tell you right now, if you switch to Webull, if you try it out, if you just try it out, I guarantee you notice a major difference when it comes to options trading, specifically with your fills, specifically your exits. Low fees on options trading. There should be fees on options. If you don't have fees, you're getting 0 fees. You're probably getting screwed another way. That's why you always see people getting better entries than you. Interactive brokers, if you're more of an advanced trader, I recommend them. If you're not, then I would say interactive brokers is a little bit difficult to use, but it's worth learning. The link is down below. Check them out. I don't get paid a dime if you deposit money. I just tell people, look, check them out. Okay? Just check them out. All I can say. Now, what are we doing here? I want to quickly go over a few things. When we look at where we're at on ES, you look great. Now, overall, what did we say about 4,200 when you broke above and you broke above 43? In my opinion, you started to see shorts kick the bucket. Okay, I think that was maybe the line in the sand there. Now, we're seeing just stair-stepping and higher lows like we mentioned, right? We had consolidation here, which is normal. Consolidation at highs isn't necessarily normal, but you consolidated, and then we pushed to the upside with higher lows, okay? What were we telling you as well on Twitter, right? I recommend if you're not following on Twitter, think about it. On Twitter, I posted all this for you, right? I like to post all of this so you can always stay prepared, right? QQQ, bouncing, bull flagging, pushing up, continuing, right? What we wanted to see. And you're getting that action on ES and on NQ, breaking above and mounting previous highs. You break above. Let's go to something like the 15 minutes to show you what's happening like on the 30. Break above, mount, push it up again. Okay. Now, I think today I don't need to do too much TA. I think we've had the good movement on ES, Nasdaq, etc. I think the market is prepared for this thing to continue to run. But the thing we need to understand is what's going to happen. CPI is going to set the tone for the remainder of the week, whether you like it or not. If we come out with flat or better CPI numbers, I personally believe we will rock it. I believe we will go almost vertical. Okay, target on Nasdaq 15,000 flat. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, I'm not gonna do too much TA. I've done a lot of it for you guys, but it's ultimately gonna come down to the numbers tomorrow, because I can say all day we look great, we look this, we look that, but if the numbers come out bad, you will drop. Okay, if you come out too much higher than expected, you will drop. It's a fact of the matter. Okay, and then after that, you have the Fed minutes as well on Wednesday. So it's like you have back to back to back big things. So again, tomorrow it all comes down to that. If CPI comes out as expected or better, you're going up. You love it. You're bullish. Buenos nachos. Okay. I want to leave it at that. I don't want to harp on it. Don't want to make the video longer than it needs to be on that. Understand that. CPI will be at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, so an hour before market open. I want to spend the time though on this video going over a few big things. We saw VIX, and people are going to comment today. I already know. I'm going to answer your questions before they happen. VIX is going up today. Why? Well, people are sizing into positions to hedge their portfolios. Makes logical sense. Okay. Options are flowing in on SPX because you're coming into your most volatile day of the month. Okay. The Fed minutes. Very big. Okay. What's worth noting here? The market continues to pump and go up while VIX is going up. Okay. We need to understand that. Also, too, where are we at? We are still at 2021 lows on VIX. What happened at these levels? The Nasdaq ran to all-time highs. The S&P 500 ran to all-time highs at these levels. So VIX being this low is, in fact, bullish for the economy. Okay, we understand that. IWM, if we look here, this is the Russell, the risk-on asset, right? If you will, this gives me the best view of a risk-on. You are above the 200 SMA, the green line. This is the weekly 200 moving average, and you are bull flagging above that level. This is one of the most incredible bullish sites that I've seen from a technical view. If I had to throw everything out of the window and just look at the Russell here, take no fundamentals into account of what was going to happen with the Fed and with CPI and PPI, I would look at this and I would say this is a clear sign that money is flowing into the economy, and this is a buy the support type of thing here. I would tell you that. But again, we have to take into account everything else. But I want to go over everything in depth one by one. The DXY, what is happening here? The dollar. You continue to remain in this downtrend. Someone tried to tell me the other day that you were breaking up and you were going to go up. Okay, well, you're still in the downtrend. It's very clear. If anything, you are in a descending triangle to the downside. What is the descending triangle? This is exactly it. You sit on support, you make lower highs, and then you eventually break down. So you go boom, 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 boom. In a perfect world. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you're still clearing the downtrend. So the dollar still looks good for what? Risk on in the economy. Next, what about bonds? A lot of people talking about bonds. Questions happening here. 2 years, still going up. Okay. Bonds will continue to remain sideways or push up until we get a pause in the economy with the rates. Okay. While rates go up, bonds should not slow down. They should not drop. The second we hint at a pause, I guarantee you, I don't want to guarantee you. I think it's highly likely, highly probable. Okay, do your own research. It's not financial advice. Highly probable bonds go down the second we pause the rates, whether it be this month, next month, or the month after that. We have to understand that as well. Okay. Bulk of this stuff we need to cover right there. And the last but not least, oil. People keep telling me, do I think oil is going to pump? Do I think it's going to do this, do that? You are pinched between the 100 SMA and the 200 SMA on the weekly and the daily. The 200 and 200, I'm sorry. Daily, weekly, 200 SMA. You look like you want to lose the 200 weekly here. Oil continues to go down. Do you know what the direct correlation with oil going down is? The direct correlation of oil prices dropping and energy dropping is inflation. If we look at our inflation numbers, the second you started to peak back last year and February through basically March, and you started going all the way into May, I want to tell you right now exactly what happened here. Okay? Or sorry, it was right here. December through basically June. Inflation numbers went through the roof because energy prices went to highs, so everything inflated in value via transit, deliveries, shipping, logistics, across the board. Everything did. Understand that. The direct correlation here is in July. And when you started to peak and started to go down, you started to see inflation start to trickle down as energy prices dropped. As energy prices remain at lows and push down to lows, in my opinion, you have to look at CPI and PPI, PCE to do well as far as dropping and dropping and dropping. On top of that, the unemployment numbers with this, I think it's possible. I think it's good. There's a good chance we see CPI numbers regulate and do good as well. My opinion. Would I be holding anything crazy overnight? No. Would I be swinging positions into these key days? No. Why? I do not want to overextend my risk. I've had a great 3 to 4 weeks. I would rather wait, let the move happen, let the Fed say what's going to happen, and then take the trade from there. We've made money a lot on this channel by doing what? By being patient and letting the trades come to us rather than us go out and make the trades for ourselves. What does that mean? I'm not going to go out and say, well, I think tomorrow in 2 days, Powell's going to come out and he's going to raise by 2.5 because I did my research and that's what makes sense. No, I'm not going to do that. That makes no logical sense. Powell has not said anything along those lines yet. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait. I'm going to let Powell make his decision, and I'm going to trade based on the reaction we get from that, based on volume, based on price action and supply and demand. That is reacting and taking what the market gives you. That's how you should be trading this right now. My personal opinion. That's all over. That's my viewpoint on CPI, PPI, Fed meeting. I'll have a little bit more in the Fed meeting tomorrow. Now going into stocks that I'm liking. Going to make this short, sweet, to the point. We mentioned Amazon. I mentioned it on Friday, and I mentioned it. I might have mentioned it yesterday. I don't remember. Amazon today. You opened up at, closed at 123 on Friday. You opened up, pushed all the way to 127, 126. Amazon looks very good. On the 4 hours specifically, you're clearly in that channel, like we mentioned as well, bouncing, pushing back up. You look phenomenal. In my opinion on Amazon, target very easily. About 132 to 130. That's your target on Amazon near the 200 moving average on the weekly. Next up, Apple. Told you as well here. When Apple dipped, what did we talk about? I mean, this is more of a recap here. Apple just announced the most bullish thing Apple could do. They announced a whole new product, a brand new product, specifically tech. Why is that important? If we break down all of Apple's products, AirPods, they're my favorite to break down. Their Apple Watch, laptop, iPad, etc. Each of these sales of these specific individual products is the equivalent to multiple companies that sit on the Nasdaq. They're all over $1 billion companies, each individual tech name that they have. So them revealing that they're getting into the AR space, even though Meta has done so poorly and terrible in that space, it still has to be taken with respect because of who and what Apple has done. They continue to dominate and they own consumers. They are the number one consumer brand possibly to ever exist. You walk into a room and Apple is there. Apple, I don't care. They could release new jump ropes and I guarantee they would probably have a little bit of success with it. Why? Because Apple has tried. It's proven. Everything they do looks simple. It is simple. It's cool. It's sleek. It is what it is. They released a product and guess what? The market saw the dip and they bought it right back up, pushing right back into all-time highs here. Apple, I'm not saying to go long, leverage all your money there. But what you need to understand is one, I've seen people continue to say, I want to short Apple. All the people that want to short Apple, I think it's the stupidest decision you can make right now. Unless the market takes a hard turn for the worst. Unless we start getting really bad inflation numbers, then maybe go short on Apple. But until then, understand this. You are shorting the number one consumer brand in the world. It's the stupidest trade you can make. I think it's ridiculous. It's not smart. And then people are saying, oh, you're pushing it to all-time highs. It's the perfect time to go short. The same people that said that were the same people that were going short on NVIDIA. And guess what? We said it again on NVIDIA. This was a buy the dip opportunity here. You're pushing right back into 400. Look at AVGO, all these names. We talked about the channel you had here as well. To the downside, you broke out, pushing back up. LRCX as well, pushing right back up. All of these trades we were mentioning, trying to get people involved. Understand the breakout, high volume as well when you started to break out there. Netflix, once again, you mounted and go to really quickly, go to the daily here. You mount above the 200 SMA and then boom, you push up. Boeing, once again, pushing up into all these levels. Understand what we're talking about here. We're not just pushing ideas, throwing random ideas out of the window here. We're trying to make you understand and show you why we like these specifically here on the channel, right? There's major resistances, and a lot of these companies are pushing past them. If you keep hitting the same, like for instance, Boeing, you've hit this level 1, 2, 3. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is going to be your 12th time that now you're breaking out and holding above it. You've only had one other candle hold above for a day on this level of like 215 on Boeing on the daily time frame. 1, 2, pushing up. Understand that the 200 SMA, we've been talking about this, right? I encourage you guys, do your research. I see you in the comments. Some of you guys are killing it right now. You don't have to join Discord. You don't have to give us money. You don't have to do any of that. We do tons of free content here. The goal is to show people that if you put in the work, it works. What we talk about works. Volume, price action, supply and demand. It's all you need here. I just want people to understand that as we're moving. Okay. My two favorite stocks in the video. One, not Target. I'm so sorry. Tesla. My favorite name right now. My favorite there is. I'll be updating you on Twitter as well. I posted this on Twitter earlier. I said it was free money, gap filling to the upside. Absolutely love it. Most bullish name out there. If you don't know, GM is now using they've adopted their charging network. Most bullish thing that could happen to Tesla. Tesla is going to own all EVs, essentially. Telling you, Tesla, 259, 260. I think it's coming in a hurry unless the market again takes a massive turn for the worst, which I'd be a huge buyer of Tesla at that point. Number 2, Netflix. Right here. Again, I mentioned this one in Discord today. If you weren't in option set, I mentioned it. You broke out, pushing to 424 again. Incredibly bullish here on Netflix. I absolutely love them. A very similar chart to something along the lines of Boeing. Okay. What's happening here? On the 4 hour, you can see you're mounting above the 200 weekly. You're bull flagging, trying to push up. This is the most incredible chart to me. I think if you have time on contracts, I think you're just sitting pretty. Going to something like the daily time frame, as you can see here, you zoom out. This is the top 458. You have a giant gap at 506, 507. I love the chart. Nothing excites me more. It's one of my favorite things out there. Tesla, Netflix, my favorite names. Runner up, value play, if I've ever had one, is going to be Baba. And I might regret saying this. So yeah, I don't know. But Baba, if you can get above this level right here, understand, I'm going to get you out of here pretty quick. I'm so sorry for taking this long. If you can get above the 200 SMA on the daily, about $89 and mount, I believe Baba can go crazy. I love it. Has potential. Get above that level. You look great. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Good luck trading CPI.